Hey, what's up, guys and gals? Bonafide Hustler here.
CP here.
Chris Green, Scam Power here.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Green Room Hangout number 17 of Season 2. Today's Hangout is called Scan Party, and we have a special guest sitting right there below us. Anyway, I'm the Bonafide Hustler. I reside in Austin, Texas, and I flip stuff that I find from garage sales, estate sales, swap meets, flea markets, pawn shops, and I put it on places like eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, antique booth, and consignment stores in town. That's what I do. I'm one of the admins of the Green Room. I'll introduce College Picker.
Hey guys, I'm College Picker. I reside in New Mexico right now, but I kind of travel here and there. I'm originally from Florida. I'm a part-time healthcare professional, and I also have an enormous hobby of hustling. I run an Etsy store, do a little bit of YouTube stuff, eBay, and a bunch of Amazon. I'm super excited for Q4, and we're going to have a scan party with our special guest, Mr. Chris Green.
All right, what's up, guys? Thanks so much for hopping on the show, especially all you live peeps. We got mad love for the live peeps. The replay peeps, we love you too, but we love the live peeps just a little bit more. Those of you that don't know me, I'm Chris Green. I'm up here, and that's not snowy, although I did put up my little snowflake lights for you guys. It is getting cold up here because this is Massachusetts. This is the Northeast, and that's where I roll. Been here about 5 years now after living in Texas, going for that Texas heat 15 years in a row. So I don't miss the heat, but I certainly wouldn't mind missing the cold weather that we have here in Massachusetts. A lot of you guys know me from Scan Power. That's our scanning service, help you acquire inventory, primarily for Amazon FBA sellers by scanning barcodes or analyzing lists. And we help you with accounting software and inventory tracking, replenishment alerts, repricing, everything that you're going to get into when you get up to a little bit of volume in your Amazon FBA business where you can't manage it all yourself. Well, that's when a third-party service like Scan Power comes in and helps you out. I'm also known for being a published author. I published the first books on Amazon and FBA, and I just published my newest book called Merch Life a few weeks ago. And I'm going to try to talk about merch as much as possible, even if the Bonafide Hustler doesn't want to. I'm going to try and push merch as much as possible because I haven't felt this way about a platform that Amazon has come out with since FBA. And FBA is 8 years old, and merch is about 6 weeks old. It is very new, very much in its infancy. It has enormous potential when you're looking at it the right way. Is not just, T-shirts. Who cares about T-shirts? No. It's much bigger than that.
Okay. Hey, by the way, are you excited at all by any chance?
Well, because it's fourth quarter?
No, because of merch and the fourth quarter.
Dude, merch, fourth quarter. I mean, I go around, I do these meetups, we do events, I talk to live people, and if people are not excited, not just about fourth quarter, not just about merch, but about the opportunities presented to anybody with a computer, right? You do have to have a computer or a phone or something, right? Like, you can't you have nothing, but everybody's got a computer. If you have a computer, you have the ability to create full-time income, and if you don't know how, well, go back and watch the first 16 episodes of this YouTube series. If you don't know how, go on YouTube and you don't know how to do Photoshop. YouTube Photoshop tutorials. If you don't know how to do something to get where you want to go, it's so easy to learn. And the internet just gives you the platforms and the audience where you can take pretty much any topic, any passion you have, and make a full-time income. Now, maybe you're not going to make $250,000, but hey, you can make 40 grand and live down by the beach if that's what your passion is, right? So don't fall into the narrative of the 3-bedroom house with the white picket fence and the dog if that's not your thing, all right? Because when you live in your van and go surfing every day, you don't need to make a lot of money. But I'm getting off topic already.
I liked where you were going because the van and the surfing thing is definitely at some part of my life going to happen, just so you guys know.
Dude, I could not see you living in a van.
I was just thinking about actually the van today and how I would outfit it. Seriously. I'm not even kidding. So I was thinking about a sportsmobile, which is it's usually like a Ford.
High top,
dude. High top freaking sportsmobile with everything you need inside, and you have to build a little bit.
Are you sleeping in the van?
Yes, sleeping in the van, and if I want to take a shower or two, well, the ocean's there, or I will have a gym membership, which is the way you're supposed to do it. You get a gym membership if you want to take really good showers and all that kind of stuff, and workouts. So, because gym memberships are in every town, usually in every coastal town, it's like you can find Gold's Gym up and down California coastline, and if you want to take a shower, because honestly, coming out of the water in California or salt water is refreshing already. You don't smell weird or anything. It's freaking Mother Nature, it's the real deal. So, and it's good for your skin. So, anyway, we are off topic, Chris Green.
That sounds like a book you need to write. You have not published a book in a while, my friend.
I know, because I've been working on some other stuff in the background. I've been working on the Green Room with Rakin, Young, and CP, and I've been working a little bit on this workout channel in the background too, which is my second love in life for everything. So it's going to go hand in hand with the merch thing. And we got to talk that merch thing. So in the halfway point, we're going to get to merch. We're going to have 30 minutes of merch, which I think will be okay to at least get the hints of what's going on. I want to really quick go out to the feed and just say shout outs to some people: Texas Gal Treasures, Thrifty Treasures, Robert Banarez. We got a lot of Green Room members in here. Vegan Runner, Hot Halloween Props. I even see College Picker in there. Brendan Ariaga, Resale Rabbit, Ham and Jam Show. Henry S., Raleigh74, Cesar Papa, Dan Earl Haddad, Derek Callahan, gosh, lots of people, Mike Decker, Cody Wallace, Travel with Aaron, I like that name, Sweet Diecast Boy, Patrick Henry, George Neves. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Yes, okay. So we got 50 viewers in the room. Do us a favor real quick. This show should be a really good one, so hit the like button early, okay? Don't wait to see and judge. Just understand that it's going to be a good show. Chris Green's on the show. Automatic like.
Smash that like button.
That's right. Smash it. Go beast mode. See my shirt? Beast mode is on right now. Okay.
You think I don't know about smashing the like? I know
yeah,
how.
Man, I think I might have bought this shirt off you. I'm just kidding. No. We're going to be talking.
That's not mine. I got one, but it's not it.
We're going to talk about your merch stuff and see how you kind of do it and everything like that. Okay, so let's first go into, we went into your products. So you obviously have Scan Power, which is like a scanning thing, plus it helps people with their repricing if their business starts to get big enough, right? Has all that kind of stuff, all the analytics, I mean, more analytics than people can probably digest, right?
Right, when we added the accounting and sales reporting features, we worked directly with a user who was an accountant saying, this is what we need. And they were an FBA seller themselves, and they really helped us outline it. And we're very thankful for that user because, I mean, accounting's not my specialty. I get asked some questions sometimes, how do you manage your time so well? I'm like, I don't. Like, I know what I'm not good at in managing time and accounting. I mean, there's a reason I have an accountant. So they helped us design all the accounting and reporting features. We got a lot of feedback from users about how to keep track of items with expiration dates so we can set alerts so you can remove items at the right time, keep track of what's at the warehouse, as well as replenishment alerts, especially once you have a replenishable product, meaning a product you can get more of. You have to draw the line. If I want to have 6 weeks supply, so I'm not just buying 2 years supply at a time and tying up my money, you want to manage that and have your lead time and your time to the warehouse and time to get checked in so that you always have the right amount of inventory there. And it's like, oh, it's getting low. I need to order because I know my lead time from my vendor is this long and all that stuff. So we help you manage all that stuff because that stuff's algebra, right? You don't need to spend your time sitting there doing algebra. You need to be sourcing more products. So FBA took out the bottleneck of fulfillment. Right now, a lot of prep and ship companies, meaning you ship your product to them, and they're going to send it to Amazon for you. It's removing that bottleneck of the business. And we want to remove the other bottlenecks, the time you spend reconciling your account, all that stuff. That time is better spent sourcing more products, working on your business, or surfing on the beach, right? Like, if you're doing, and I don't mean to be mean when I say this, but if you're doing things in your business that anybody can do, all the way down to someone being paid a minimum wage, right? Like putting something in a box and putting tape on it, that's minimum wage work. If you're doing that part of your business, and sometimes you have to, especially as you grow, right? So I'm not trying to get out on anybody who's starting out, but look as you grow to outsource as much as you can, whether it's using software like ScanPower or services like a prep and ship company, so that you have your time where when you're working, you're paying yourself as much money as possible. Otherwise, you're paying yourself minimum wage. And when you're doing that, it's an opportunity cost of surfing for minimum wage, right? It's all big picture stuff. Time is the one thing that we can't multiply, we can't scale, we can't get any more of. So just be careful and always think of the opportunity cost. While you're doing that, what else could you be doing?
I like it, man. Big level stuff. That's why we get you on the show. We get you on the show at least once a year, man. That's your requirement now. I mean, you build this. Yeah, it's your requirement now, man. You build it, and you're cool like that. And now we gotta get you on because you're always on this cutting edge stuff, and you always talk big level stuff, which is cool. We like that kind of stuff.
Well, I do like to try new things. Though, to be honest, and this is where I'm gonna like not show off a little bit, but I've kind of realized this about myself, trying to figure out exactly what I'm good at, so that I do more of it. And it's trying these new things, and especially Amazon. I love Amazon, how they'll disrupt markets. And with Amazon's scale, they basically subsidize new programs. That's the reason CreateSpace is so lucrative compared to a Lulu or a Lightning Source, the cost structure. It's the same thing with merch. They are subsidizing it to where we can now play, get in front of Amazon's best customers at a cost and royalty structure that means we can actually sell stuff and make money. You know, I'll use merch as an example. I know we're waiting until 9:30, but think about this. You know, compared to like a Teespring or any other print-on-demand type product, or take Lulu, right? Compared to CreateSpace and Amazon's print-on-demand, to be able to be integrated with Amazon and be eligible for Prime is the key. And I've actually argued with people who said this is just Teespring all over again. Teespring's not integrated with Amazon. Teespring's not Prime eligible, right? I don't care about Teespring. I'm not trying to talk bad. I don't care. I don't want to learn a thing about Teespring, because they're not where I want to be.
People want now. People want now, and if they see something they like, and if you can integrate your product with Amazon's entire customer base, you're going to win. They
That's
want
the
now.
key.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Hey, here's a business idea for you. Like piping hot ramen coming down from a quadcopter. How far are you away from building this real quick?
That could happen. That could happen. You probably need a little chemical engineering. You know, because he doesn't want to leave the warehouse hot, right? You want to like have it go hot on the way down.
Ah, yeah,
right?
and it has to be covered too, because you don't want any of the weird stuff in the atmosphere getting into your ramen either.
No, it's possible. I mean, I'm looking forward to drone delivery, but I live out in the country. It took me a while, but I have now accepted that I will never get drone delivery because of where I live. But as soon as it's in a big city, I'm going to prime delivery. I'm going to prime now drone something just in the middle of the street, just so I can have that drone show up. It's ridiculous. I mean, Amazon is marching right in front of us, right? There's like no surprises what they're doing. Think about this. If they have overnight delivery or same-day delivery, that opens up, I don't know, perishable products, right? Walmart became the biggest grocer in, a period of 3 years when they decided to start getting in the grocery category. If Amazon can deliver same day, guess who's going to be the #1 grocer in probably less than 3 years, right? Like, it's just happening in front of us, and we can sell to those customers as small or big or medium sized, but as third-party sellers, or now when we talk merch and we talk CreateSpace, content creators. If we can create things of value, I mean, this end game is 3D printing, right? It's going to be a warehouse down in Austin with 8,000 3D printers, and you're going to be in your car on the way home. Oh, that looks cool. Buy that. Before you get home, it's going to be at your door. No, it's not even going to be at your door. It's not even going to get delivered, because you'll probably have an Amazon-branded 3D printer sitting on your kitchen counter. It's going to be printed and come out the little bottom like a gumball machine by the time you get home. And you're going to be like, huh, cool. And guess who's going to make the money with all that? All right, so let's be practical. Who's going to make the money with all that? The people who sit there and upload the designs to Amazon, and Amazon's going to give them a royalty for every product that gets downloaded and printed. Amazon will reward content creators with cash, non-refundable royalties. I don't care if you're designing shirts. I don't care if you're writing books. I don't care if you're making 3D printed screwdrivers. It doesn't matter. It's going to be a content game, which means anybody can play with zero cost to entry, no barriers, and because this is so fantastic, people are not believing it. I am talking to people in the flesh and showing them my books that took, I don't know, 24 hours from digital file to delivered to my door, to T-shirts that didn't exist, and Amazon prints a one-off, and they're like, yeah, but what's it really cost? I'm like, there's no game here, guys. I can't just say it costs nothing, but then when you sign up, it actually does cost something. Right, like there's no value in that, right? Like that doesn't help you pick up chicks or anything, right? Like what's the point? But they don't believe it. It's so good, they don't believe it. So if we can do anything today on this show, on the 1-7-EP, it's to get people to believe it. It's to give that confidence that yes, we are living in this time. Yes, this is ground floor opportunity. Yes, you can do this. And I don't want to hear, I don't know Photoshop. Go learn Photoshop. Right? Like, I want to shake people who in 2015 say, I can't learn something new. Now, 100 years ago, you couldn't learn anything new, right? It's 2015. You can learn anything you want in, I don't know, 8 seconds. With a Google search, it'll say, want to learn this? No problem. Linda, Udemy, YouTube. This show, the green room. I'm gonna get a little worked up, man. I've been actually dealing with
You're
people who
extremely
don't see
worked
it.
up. Calm down.
No, worked up / excited. Worked up is different. My Roomba has just opened the door. Oh, here come my dogs. Hold on real
That
quick.
was awesome.
The Roomba opened the door. I like that. That
So
could be like
with
a YouTube channel, man.
Chris, with the with the 3D printer thing, is that speculation or is that already here?
It's kind of speculation. Amazon does have a people don't realize it, a 3D printed section of their website where people can upload designs. You can order 3D printers and all the 3D printing accessories that go with it. I don't believe it's really set up for third parties yet. There certainly isn't an Amazon branded 3D printer, but I mean, this is why I say I think people really need to be almost internet historians, at least recently, right? Like, look at the Kindle. Right? What did the Kindle do? The Kindle replaced books, right? And people were critical of it and say, oh, that's never going to work. I want my paper books. Well, that's fine. People still do like paper books. But Amazon doesn't need to make money off the Kindle. I've been saying it, and I haven't been right yet, but I predict, I'll put it at 2 years now. If you're a Prime member, Amazon's just going to give you a Kindle, right? I mean, the newest Kindle Fire tablet is $50. And if you buy 5 of them, they're going to give you one free. You get 6 of them. Right, and they cost $42 a piece. At that price, I'll just put some liquid nails on the back and stick it to the wall in my bathroom, right? Because it's $42 now. What's it going to be next year or the year after that? The hardware is so cheap. You know, they'll just give the stuff away. They'll give away their 3D print. I mean, they'll sell it first, but they don't need to make money on the hardware. That's how they can undercut all of the other hardware manufacturers, all the tablet makers, now future, all the 3D printers. So that you have the Amazon one, because the Amazon one is going to be tied to the Amazon digital ecosystem of designs where they make money. Just like the Kindle is tied to the Kindle library where they make money selling the same file over and over and over. It's a digital file. It doesn't even cost money. Over and over and over again. Right? I bought like 80 Kindle books. It doesn't cost them anything to fulfill all that stuff. Well, it costs them some pennies, right? But
the storage server upkeep, right? The pennies for the storage.
Well, and they have to send them out, right? So if it was like on cellular, right? They give you free cellular on a lot of the Kindle ones. I mean, there are some hidden costs in there, which they actually pass along to authors, right? Like me and Bonafide, where like, oh, your royalty is going to be smaller because your file's really big. Like, whatever, right? Like, we know what's happening, but I mean, that's where it's going. I mean, no one should be acting like 3D printing isn't a thing. I told my sister-in-law, I said, you're going to be able to 3D print chocolate in your kitchen in the near future. And she was like, no, that's impossible. Like, she actually thought it's impossible. And then like a few months later, someone made a chocolate 3D printer, and I sent her the article. I said, look, you can now 3D print a chocolate sculpture and eat it, right? 3D printing is going to be here. Thankfully, I mean, there's 2 bad predictions here. Well, one's good, one's bad. The bad one is there's not going to be any jobs because everybody's going to be replaced by a robot. The good news is the robots are going to make everything so cheap that it doesn't matter that we don't have jobs because everything's going to be super cheap. So, but we won't have to work, and everything will be cheap. Prices are going down on everything. $42 full-color Kindle Fire tablets. That's what my kids are playing on right now. They love that more than the iPad because they've got Amazon Kids Zone built in and all this stuff. Amazon's taken over the world.
No, it's true. Bezos has even said, like, you know, one of his end goals is to like put brick and mortar out of business, and I think it's going to happen.
Brutal.
I think it's going to happen. I really do.
That's so brutal.
No, within our lifetime, man. I mean, not all brick and mortar, but a lot of it. I mean, only the strong will survive. I mean, that's it. I mean, that's the truth. I think Fry's might make it. I think Best Buy's toast. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. But yeah, all these little mom and pop stores, those aren't going to be there.
But before they go out of business, all the retail arbitrage peeps are going to get in. They're going to make some last gasp money off Best Buy going out of business.
Oh, absolutely, man. I think Office Max in this town is closing all their stores or something like that, or a majority of their stores, something like that. So I overheard somebody in Goodwill saying today that they bought a coin counter at Office Max that was just closing down and flipped it for $100 on eBay, and it was $39.99 at Office Max. And I just overheard the conversation today while I was checking out in Goodwill some stuff. So anyway, let's get into the scanning thing just for a little bit, and then we'll go back to the merch thing. So for beginners that might be on this show, there's some beginners and intermediates. Can you just out of just say in your words, like, why is fourth quarter like just the big thing with scanning? Like, for the beginners that are just joining the show that are like, okay, I'm going to learn a little bit about FBA in the show. I'm pretty sure. Why is the fourth quarter such a big deal, Chris?
Well, the fourth quarter represents a ridiculous surge in demand because prices are based on supply and demand, right? And when supply is caught up to demand, that's when you hit market price. And supply is outpacing demand. That's when you see prices go super low because there's too much product to meet the demand. But when that demand spikes and supply doesn't spike with it, price goes up. Price goes to whatever the market will bear, right? And we got the third-party market, and we've got the Amazon price, right? So when you're looking on Amazon or eBay, and you're looking from a vendor or manufacturer, well, not really a manufacturer, but like a retailer, because you'll see this on eBay as well. Target, Toys R Us, they sell on eBay. They're going to be forced to sell at what's called the MAP price, the minimum advertised price, or the list price, or the MSRP. You're going to see different terms for it. And if it's a super hot toy, it's going to sell out super quick. And after that, when it's not available at MSRP, the third-party market's going to take over. And if it's hard to find and everybody wants it, the price is going to be high, right? And that's what's called over-retail selling. It's, I don't want to say inherently risky. It is a little more risky than under-retail buying and then just selling at the market price. But if you can do both, it's even better. So when you want to buy as low as possible, whether you're buying, vintage Star Wars at a garage sale, or you're buying the Toys R Us exclusive My Little Pony at retail. But everything is just, it is what it is, right? We're using our scanning apps to identify products, right? So I don't think this is going to come through very well.
It is.
Oh, that actually is really clear.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, it's almost like a 4K. That's 4K right there. I just got some 4K resolution.
Yeah, well, we live way out in the country. We do have high-speed internet, even though we don't have drone delivery. Let's see if I can scan an item here. This is actually a garage sale find. It's a Star Wars Imperial shuttle. And I'll try to walk you guys through this in 4K. So we show you the image, and we show you the title. That's for product verification. This whole game, and if you think about bona fide pick in stores and college picker, hitting the stores, you have to be able to identify the product. And the faster you can identify the product, the faster you can figure out what the market price of that product is. You compare it to your cost. You decide if you want to buy it and make money. That's really the game that we're playing, right? So, oh, you're getting my Facebook messages now. I don't know what it is. So we're going to show you up here at the top the Amazon price, if Amazon has it in stock. We're going to show you the category and the sales rank, so you can kind of have an idea of how recently it's sold. Then we're going to show you the new, used, collectible, and FBA prices. Now this item here, like the low FBA, is about $400, and yeah, that's in new condition. So this is, I'd say, used good, but the lowest price overall is $300. You get a nice payout on it. We paid $15 for this thing, and even though it was like so good, we opened it up and we hung it up in my kid's room with the fishing line, right? Because he's really getting into Star Wars. But we just look at this net payout and we compare it to our cost. And if we're doing it at retail and we see 25 of something profitable on the shelf, we're going to put them all in our cart and move on to the next item. So the scanning app lets you evaluate items with barcodes very quickly. And the faster you can do that, the more items you can scan, and the more likely it is that you're going to find a winner. And it just lets you confirm. Even if you already know, you're like, I know these Star Wars items are hot. Well, maybe you better check, because maybe the market changed, right? Maybe Amazon got a big truck in stock, especially if you're like playing that game where Amazon's going in and out of stock and you're trying to sell when they're out of stock at an over retail price. You want to pay attention to what happened in the market right now. So you can go back and check Keepa history, which is a price tracking website. You can check Camel history. You can go over to eBay and see what's over there in case there are no offers on Amazon. You want to see if there were offers on eBay and at what price. And it's just a game to play in the fourth quarter where, on top of that, if you know what's hot, and this really favors the people who do this full time, because if you know what's hot, you can make a plan and have relationships set up with store managers to get that inventory as soon as it hits the stores, right? As soon as that truck hits Toys R Us, and you know that Doc McStuffins whatever thing is super hot, you can be there and be ready to buy them up. Or people who have a regular full-time job, they're not going to be able to do that. So there's a bunch of different ways to make money in the fourth quarter, but it's the sheer volume and increase in demand, especially on Amazon, where customers go there for what they want, shop and be done. That just sends prices all over the place. And if you're paying attention, and you can really make a lot of money, and it really is kind of low risk money.
Okay. I have a question that's not even on my sheet that I did want to ask you myself regarding this Amazon stuff. Do you think people pay attention to the product description field at all? Because Amazon's one of those things, like you go to eBay and you're going to read the description, right? You're going to read that stuff. You go to Amazon and you're just in for like, I want to see it, okay, cool, pay now, 1 click or 2-day shipping. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you think people read, what do you honestly think? Do you think they read that one part or not?
Absolutely not. And I've seen people do it. They put in the notes, hey, this item has a bashed up box, but it's still sealed, or this Lego kit is missing Darth Vader. And then when the customer gets upset, they're like, well, the customer's fault, right? They didn't read the description. What I think sellers need to think about is that probably, I don't have the exact numbers on it. I know it's over half on eBay, so I got to think it's pretty close, if not more, on Amazon, is that those purchases are being done on mobile. So do a purchase on mobile from a third-party seller, and you'll see that you're not going to see the notes. You're going to get all the way through the checkout. You're not going to see the notes. So don't get mad at the customer expecting them to know better, right? Like pretty much, I mean, Amazon, it really doesn't even matter, right? Because with Amazon, you need to match that product page exactly. Exactly. And I use a Lego kit as an example. No missing instructions, no missing Darth Vader, no missing this one little piece that my kid lost. No, because that doesn't match the description of 384 pieces, right? You are not matching the description. If you match the description exactly, you don't need notes, right? What notes
So
do
you're
you
basically
need?
saying it's new or it's unopened, but you found out a garage sale the box is open, but it's new, it's all in the plastic. Those are the kind of things that really belong on FBA, you're saying, right?
Well, if it was open, I wouldn't even call it new. I would say used like new,
Right.
but I wouldn't put any notes in it because the buyer is going to expect it to be complete, right? Now,
Right.
Amazon is listening to us. I can pass this along from Amazon that they are looking at adding a few new not categories, but conditions, like new damaged box, because new damaged box isn't used, right? It's just damaged box. So, and it's about expectation. If the customer knows it has a damaged box, then they're okay with it. I would pay less for a new item in a damaged box because I don't care about the box. If it's something I'm going to open, like I just bought a beard trimmer thing, right? I'd buy the new damaged box beard trimmer because I'm going to rip it open and throw the box away. So they are listening for sellers need that type of condition. But it's, I mean, maybe on books, like used books, you'd want to put in the highlighting and the underlining. But for every other category, I really don't see the need to put in notes. And I get that sellers want to put in notes. So I would just encourage people who are kind of struggling with that to say, all right, can I not put in notes? What's this going to look like if I don't put in notes? And try to push themselves towards a no adding condition notes kind of seller model. I just don't think it's needed. It just causes more problems than they solve.
Okay. Real quick, there's some.
There was a good question in the feed. Oh, go ahead.
Someone in the feed was like, "What if you listed open box?" But there is no open box drop down, so.
Someone's saying that might already be there.
I've seen open box on something before.
There's refurb. There's like new. There's all those, but I don't remember seeing an open box ever on.
I've seen open box somewhere. If it was an email or a listing or something, but there was an open box something.
Okay.
It might be added. Maybe they're rolling it out. Rolling it out slowly. But it is. Amazon does listen. They can be very slow to move, but they do listen. They want what's best for the customer, and they know what's out there. So.
Okay. Here's some. Let's rapid fire through some of these scanning tips real quick. So for the intermediates and beginners that are watching this show, let's see if we can get a little bit of tips from Chris Green. So, Chris Green, do you know if certain cell phones work better than others when it comes to the scanning stuff, or maybe Scan Power, or let's just say the Amazon Seller app? Are you seeing like, okay, like the the Apple 6S Plus is definitely a phone to have. Like, what is like the industry standard when it comes to? Is it just a smartphone in general, or what do you say? What would you say for someone that wants to get in the game or is in the game, that may be on the verge of like getting a new cell phone? Like, what should they be getting?
If it was me, I prefer iPhone. I'm not like an Apple fanboy. I mean, I use a Mac and I got the iPhone. And I used to really be more, hey, if you're starting out and you're choosing a phone, please get the iPhone, just because the iPhone always had such a great camera and they didn't have a lot of models, right? If you had an iPhone, you had a good camera, and that's going to help if you're using the camera to capture barcodes. Most of the Android phones now in 2015, they all come with a great camera. Right, anything from 99 to 199, 299 flagship model Android phone is going to have a great camera. So a lot of it comes down to just kind of preference between Android and iPhone. For simplicity, I just find that the iPhone just works. It just connects to Bluetooth scanners faster. It's just no glitches or problems with it. But if my overall advice would be to get a premium phone. No, don't go for the hey, I'm on Cricket, and I got this free Android phone. Like, you go cheap, you're going to get cheap. And it's just, the good phones aren't even expensive anymore. They'll give you an iPhone for like $1 a day now, like the newest model. So don't go cheap. You don't have to go super high end. You don't need the 128 gig iPhone 6 Plus S whatever. That's like $1,000 phone, right? Like, but anything for 200 to 300. Is going to give you a phone that's going to be great quality. It's going to last you a couple years at least. So, get good hardware. It's going to pay off.
Okay. I just snapped a picture of you on the Hangout real quick on my new. There it is. I got to zoom in. All right, let's get the bottom part of the beard. This is all beard right here, all beard, and then.
Oh, that's hardcore, man.
There we go, man. All right. Samsung S6. What about scan fobs? Give us 3 good scan fobs for someone out there that's maybe intermediate level now, that's probably repricing already and all that kind of stuff. 3 scan fobs that you're like, these are good scan fobs.
Nah, I'll give you 2, man, because there's really only 2 options.
Okay.
For me, there's a scan fob. I think they're up to 2006. It was a 2001, 2005, 2006. The company I recommend is serialio.com, like serial port, SER. I think they're down in Austin. They used to be. They might have gone to California. They sell all kinds of different models. The scan fob was kind of the one that got it started. You can get them for about $200, $250. The one that I use personally is called the KDC 200. They sell that one as well. I think it's about $250. We've got a coupon code. It's not an affiliate code, just a straight coupon code on the Scan Power website. The reason I like the KDC 200 is, one, the battery life just lasts forever. Like, it has never run out of battery on me, other than when I haven't been scanning for 3 weeks or something. It just always works. It connects in a snap, and you can mount it on a glove. So whether you're right or left-handed, it's got a little 2-finger glove with a little thumb trigger, and it mounts the scanner on the back of your hand. So you can trigger it, just a little press right here, and then you have 2 hands free to move product. I really recommend getting blade or a glove left, even if you're left-handed. Or right, whatever you prefer. Get glove left, just because if you grab books, right, if you grab something off the shelf, the barcode's always going to be on the left-hand side. It's just, to me, easier, no matter what you're scanning, to grab instead of flipping it around and all that. But get whatever you want.
Is the scanner on the palm? Like, where's the scanner on that thing that you're talking about? The glove, this Nintendo Power Glove thing that you're talking about. Where's the scanner on the back side of your palm or what? Your wrist?
It goes on the back.
Part of your hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is crazy, man. This is like Minority Report.
Pro tip.
This is like crazy stuff. Cool.
Yeah, and it goes over like these 2 fingers, so you feel like you're always rocking out when you got it.
Okay. Very neat. I didn't even know about that thing. Okay, and then obviously there's your software. Who's your rival in the business? I'm just curious.
When we first started, we fought a few companies, and we kind of came out on top. I don't mind saying that right now, probably our number 1 competitor is a company called Inventory Lab. And they've copied us very well. I'll give them that. And but when it comes to business, innovators win. Because if you're always copying, then you're always behind. You're always in second place. But I don't mind competition. Competition, one, confirms that what you're doing is good, right? Because if what you're doing isn't worth copying, then maybe you shouldn't be doing it at all, right? So we've been copied with radio shows and groups, and I don't mean copied in a bad way. I mean, we had like the first FBA group, and now there's probably 300 FBA groups on Facebook because there was a need for them. There was enough demand. If there wasn't demand for them, they wouldn't exist. So being copied is a good sign that you're doing something right, but innovation is the key. Because if you're not innovating, you're in second place all the time, right? You're just the first copier. So it's been good. There's gonna be a lot more cool stuff coming out. Technology is making things a lot easier for us to update things, make them better faster, and yeah, the end user wins, right? With competition, the end user wins. So even if there's more YouTube shows, right? Which ones win? The good ones, right? Whoever has the best content. And I say that. I call people out all the time. If someone can put out better content than me in the FBA space, put me out of business, right? Like, that's okay. If I lose because I'm not good enough, then I lose, right? It ain't personal. So anybody can come in and compete, and who wins in the end? It's the people who are getting the best information, if that's the game. So it's all good.
Okay. And then give people out there a couple tips when it comes down to intermediate to expert kind of like hustling. Let's call it scanning, but when it comes down to the sourcing and packaging, like what are the big people really doing right now? Are they employing people, warehouse space? Like what are the big people in this game doing with all their inventory? How are they scanning? Do they have teams of scanners? Like what are they doing?
There's a bunch of things that people are doing. Some things I can tell you. Well, I guess there's nothing I really.
Let's talk about that top like 5%, man. Let's talk about your friends that you have on your phone that are like the top 5% of the game. What are they? I mean, look, if someone wants to copy them, right? Like more props to them. It would take a lot to copy that. But go ahead and like let us know. Like, what do you think? Like, what are they doing? Like, is it warehouse? Is it massive employees, teams of people sourcing, people at high levels within stores, like completely yanking stuff off shelves for them? Like, what is it really? I'm just curious.
There's no secrets, right? Most of it is hard work. I would say a little bit of that is mindset. A lot of it is access to capital, right? Like, I mean, that's really one big kind of bottleneck for people is access to capital, right? If you can have all these deals, but if you can't buy them, it's not going to do you any good. I do see a lot of people where it's the mindset.
That was my phone.
That's fine. They don't believe that they can get big. They can't put the trust in themselves to spend $20,000 a month at retail to sell it, even with all the numbers and saying, look, I know I'm gonna turn it into $35,000, right? And I'm gonna pay off the 20 grand loan, line of credit card, whatever, and have 15 grand more to show for it. They struggle with the numbers. I see that a lot, and that's probably the biggest thing. If I could make some magic pill or something to help people get over that, I would, because I don't know how to get people over that. They get stuck there.
For me, it was just getting used to like making bigger and bigger purchases. Like I bought something for $500, then I bought something for $1,000, then I spent $5,000, and then last week I spent $12,000. I got 37 packages outside my door.
Right.
So,
but people got to grow into it, right? Like I don't want to push anyone into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I don't think a newbie would be able to like their credit card or type in something and spend like 15 grand on a toy or something.
No, and I wouldn't recommend it to them. I've used examples of large Home Depot deals that I've done where I would never recommend that deal to someone else because they didn't know the market. I knew the market, right? Like I knew tools inside and out. I knew exactly what I was doing. But I mean, this show is a great example to where you can say, look, guys, I started, my biggest purchase was $20, and then it went to $100. And they grew it, but you got to treat that money as business money, not like, oh my gosh, I can't spend $5,000. Like you're not spending $5,000. Your business is spending $5,000, and they're not just throwing $5,000 down the toilet. They're buying inventory that's projected to sell for $8,000, and even if it doesn't sell for $8 and you have to sell it for $45, right? You lost $500. You know, it is what it is. It's just numbers. But I do think people get hung up in the stack of cash, and they're like, no, I can't play that game. I'm not a big player. I'm like, it is a lot of money, right? A $50,000 purchase is a lot of money, but for a big business, it really isn't. And when the purchase is basically so safe because of the data that we have, it's crazy, So I want to give you guys some practical things to do. Once you kind of you see this opportunity and say, yeah, I'm going all in on it. People are buying vehicles, right? They have vans and trailers. I know people who are buying box trucks, right? That's their car, box trucks. And they get refrigerated box trucks so they can buy that chocolate, right? So they don't get stuck. I love this chocolate deal, but I can't do it because I don't, it's going to melt in the car while I drive around. Some people say that's crazy they bought a box truck. Guys, box trucks aren't expensive. And guess what? When you're done with it, you could sell it, right? Like a trailer will cost you $2,400. You could use it for 5 years and sell it for $2,000, right? Look up a trailer on Craigslist, right?
So true, though.
Trailers hold their value more than anything else. I bought a brand new trailer. I think I paid $22 for it in Texas, and I sold it in like 5 minutes on Craigslist because we were moving up here and I had to sell it. I think I put up for like $1,650, and the guy called and said, "You take $1,500?" I said, "Yeah, whatever. Just come get it." I mean, and because I sold it so fast, I know I could have got more, right? But I wanted to sell it fast, so I took the quick deal. But check this. If you want to grow your business, you need to get in a mastermind type group, right? You got the green room peeps. I mean, you guys are stronger as a team than you would ever be individually. And it goes the same for buying. Think about this. If you have even just 2 other people and you all say, hey, we're all going to Big Lots today. We're going Wednesday at 11 a.m. We're going to Big Lots, and you start a group chat on Facebook or WhatsApp, or I don't care what group chat you use, and you start scanning stuff, and you start sending each other screenshots and pictures, and all of a sudden you just did that entire store in either 1/3 of the time or got 3 times as many bolos, whichever way you want to divide or multiply it. You're getting 3 times as much. And here's where I think people need to stop being so scared and be like, I can't share bolos with 2 other people. That's crap. If you don't think that you can share an item with 2 other people in the country, if that item sells so infrequently on Amazon that they can't handle another 12 units without the price dipping, then you need to sell products that have a better sales rank, that sell more often, that have a higher sales velocity. I don't care what it is. There are items out there where us piddly little sellers scanning Big Lots, noodles are not going to impact the price by sending in 40 units, right? Like, find items where that's just not going to happen, and work together, because that item that you found at Big Lots, guess what? It might not be at their Big Lots, right? So you didn't give them anything, but they still got the value of working with you, and they're still going to send some back that maybe they heard of last week, but they can't find this week, and now you can find it in your store. And it's just working together with people that you trust. That's how stuff gets done. If you are hanging out, everybody listening, live and on recording, if you hang out with someone that you don't trust, sorry, but I think you're an idiot. Like, seriously, why are you hanging out with people you don't trust? We have a choice. On the internet, we have a choice. Family and neighbors, we don't have a choice. We're stuck, right? Like, you don't trust your brother-in-law, but he's still coming for Thanksgiving dinner, all right? Like, whatever. I can't help you with that. But if you're hanging out with people, if your mastermind group is people you don't trust, if you're in Facebook groups with people you don't trust, I just don't see the point. Because when you start working together with people you trust, you can get stuff done. Really get stuff done. And you can give away information, and they're going to return it, and it's just crazy. Anyway.
It's a good suggestion. I like that. We might have to implement something like that. Okay, so we went through all that stuff. Okay, give us 3 hot things to scan in, let's just say toys. Like, give us 3 hot brands of toys. Fourth quarter, a lot of the rage is toys, let's face it, right? And let's talk about not Star Wars, because not everyone's approved for Star Wars, right? So let's
you took my easy one. I was just going to say Star Wars Episode 7. That's easy.
3 what are 3 brands you're like, all right, just look. You don't have to tell us the exact thing, but just like, look at those. Those are going to be hot. Like, if you had to think about it and go, I know that's going to be a hot thing. Is it a Skylanders thing? Is it Dimensions? Is it, like, what do you think is going to be the big thing this year? Is it going to be like the freaking, Master Chief, or is it the freaking, Pit-Boy Fallout 4 thing? Like, what do you think is going to be the big thing this holiday season?
Man, I don't have like a perfect answer. I mean, Star Wars is going to be hot. I mean, and Star Wars 7 is the stuff that's restricted, but there's a lot of Star Wars that isn't restricted. You can make money there. Lego kits are in high demand. There's going to be a lot of Lego Black Friday deals. Pay attention, though, because you're going to see the surge in supply when people go in and Black Friday scan that $30 Lego kit and it's selling for $100 on Amazon, and everybody's going to buy it, and everybody's going to list it that night or the next day, and the price is going to come down. But guess what? They cannot replenish that Lego kit at a $30 cost. So as those disappear, it's going to come back to 100, 120, 130. Happens every single year. So do not panic. Sticking with Lego, Lego Advent calendars or any Advent calendars are becoming very popular. I grew up with Advent calendars, and then I found out that other people didn't. I was like, guys, Advent calendars was the bomb, man. You open a door, and you got like one little piece of chocolate, and we like thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Advent calendars.
Yeah, that's all. We didn't even get Lego, man. We got the consumable chocolate, right? It wasn't even good chocolate. It was cheap chocolate. Now they got Lego Advent calendars that are actually I need to buy mine for the kids before they go out of stock. And Lego Jurassic Park. That's an easy one. Guys, look it up. Look up the history and look at the price right now. And if you're a hustler, you can pick these up in the stores. And if they're not on your shelves, make friends with your store manager, right? Like, this is not a hard game to play. And it's kind of crazy right now because if you go to a store, everything's there, right? Like, you're sitting there thinking, oh, this is going to be hard to find later. Oh, like, you don't know. And when it's all there, you start doubting yourself. But you can keep track of things. So keep your pad of paper, maybe use your Evernote on your phone, whatever it is, and say, this is the stuff I really want to keep an eye on. And as you go from store to store and you stop seeing it, or you watch it on Amazon and the sales rank goes higher and higher and they're out of stock every now and then you're gauging demand, right? And you're saying, you know what? If they can't keep it in stock now, there's no way they're going to keep it in stock in December. And that's when you make your move, right? And it's such a cheap move to make because you can be wrong. And what? You sell it for cost, you lose a few bucks. Worst case scenario, you take it back to the store, although I don't really recommend it.
I think we've all been there. But yeah, you're right. You have to have that commitment. You have to see risk as it is. If you lose $10, but then the upside's like 60, you can repeat that trade all day, and you'll become, a pretty decent individual with wealth considerations, of course. So yeah, a lot of people are afraid of losing the 5, the 10, and it's kind of crazy. But I did see
what I see?
What's that?
I see people that have 100 of something. They sell 98 of them for a profit, and then they're hung up on the last 2, and the market is kind of stabilized, and they're going to lose money on the last 2, and they're stuck. And they're like, what am I going to do? I can't. I'm losing money on these. How am I going to make money on these 2 units?
God. Sell for market price. Get out of it. God, really?
Throw it in the trash, right? Like even then, the worry doesn't matter, because I see a lot of people manage individual items, right? Like it's an eBay store, right? And everything's individual. And I'm a onesie of everything, so I got to make money on every single item. Guys, we lose money on items, right? Bonafide, what's the last item you bought, a single item that you lost money on?
It's a really good question. I don't lose much money on my stuff.
No, but you have, though, right? You're not batting 1,000,
absolutely
right?
have. Like, if you were to ask me, I just don't. I mean, even on FBA, I don't recall any right now.
Apparently, Chris is perfect. I got Yakima.
I've lost money on a CD carousel that sold for 300 something, and then it got returned to me, and it was all destroyed in all pieces. Yeah, that one, I didn't really lose money on that, though, because I bought it for 20, and then, so $20 is down the drain. Well, really 300 is, but I don't look at it that was the one thing. That was 2 months ago. Right. I don't get bothered about stuff like that, though. That kind of stuff doesn't bother me. The overall picture of the game is what interests me, and all the money and all the opportunity available. So, if that was to be multiplied times 10, my losses, I would still be in this game. I would still love every piece of it. But I would never talk about it. I wouldn't make any YouTube videos about it because I don't care about those things when they come around. I expect that. And in fact, I'm kind of surprised that I don't have more of it, but I expect it. I really do.
Yeah, it happens. And the only reason I bring this up for everybody is so that they realize that no one bats 1,000. No one's 10 out of 10. You just need to be above 500 and you're going to be making money. And the more you do this, the more buys that you make and the more bad buys that you make, the better you'll get. This game isn't hard, but it definitely favors those with experience right? If you've got experience, especially in retail scanning, and have a few fourth quarters under your belt, yeah, you're going to do better than if this is your first fourth quarter, right? But first is worst. You have to get through your first. So if this is your first fourth quarter, make the buys that you're comfortable with. Maybe make a few risky buys with money you're okay playing with. And on top of that, keep track. Get your pad and paper out if you have to and say, this is the item that I was kind of interested in, but I didn't buy. This was the price I could have bought it for. This is how many I could have bought. This is the Amazon price today and tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And go through. And at the end, 6 weeks later, maybe a month after Christmas, be like, you know what? I was right about that one. Ooh, and I really wish I'd bought that one. And look at it as motivation. Look at it in the positive. Don't look at it negative. Be like, oh, man, I wish I would have bought that. Forget that. Be like, you're right. I can't wait till next year because I'm going to follow my instincts because you were right 8 out of 10 times. Or you were wrong 8 out of 10 times, and thank goodness you didn't spend that money. And you use that information to refine your strategy, not just for fourth quarter, but for the rest of the year. This is like the stock market game that you can play with paper money, right? You can play the retail arbitrage and online arbitrage game with paper money. You can play the garage sale. Be like, I could have bought that bike for $6, and let me see what would have happened. You don't have to put your money on the line. You eventually have to put your money on the line if you want to make some real money. But you can certainly learn 90% of this game without spending a dime, but you do have to put the time in. You have to write out those numbers. You have to check and track. You have to do that part. But anybody can do that from home. And if you're not willing to even do that, then I don't want to give you a de-invitation to making money in fourth quarter, but maybe this isn't the business for you, right? And maybe you want to do something else. There's 100 different hustles out there where you can make money on the internet, selling just being one of them. So don't give up just because you may find that, hey, retail arbitrage isn't my thing. That's okay. I know a lot of people, it's not their thing, but they can still make a lot of money on the internet.
Yeah, there's a lot of arbitrage out there. There's the retail side. There's the freaking garage sale, yard sale, pawn shop side. There's so much arbitrage to be made. So there's something for everyone's risk level out there. No matter if you're averse or you're totally tolerant. You can get something done and have a couple wins under your belt, because that's all it takes, guys. It just takes a couple wins. And for me, when I started, reselling, there was no FBA. Shoot, I did my first bike flip on a classifieds of all places. There wasn't even Craigslist.
Ooh, classifieds.
Yeah, I used the Austin Chronicle as my venue, and I was still in a $100,000 paying job at that point. I didn't have to do any of that stuff. I was just getting bored with my job, and I was like, I know that bike is worth more than what it's posted for in this Goodwill, which was my first time going into a Goodwill, which was like 11 years ago. So
but that was in your blood, right? The hustle, the entrepreneur was in your blood.
See, I don't know if that's in my trying different things is in my blood. Let's just put it that way. I love trying new things, new foods. That's in my blood. So I think that's what led me there. And there's always that thing I would love to work for myself, and so that just got kind of in my. Well, it started with toys and stuff. I was like, cool. I don't know if I could do this again and then buy a wakeboard. I wonder if I could do this again and buy sushi, steak. And I did it all, over and over. And I was like, okay, what other places besides a Goodwill could I find a bike like this? Then I was like, all right, garage sales. So I started going to all the garage sales. Like, what other place besides a garage sale and a thrift store can I find a bike? Pawn shops. I started going to pawn shops, and I'm leaving with 5 bikes in the back of my minivan. That's right. I had a minivan when I had the $100,000 paying job. That's okay. That was the company car of that time. So. But anyway, there's something for everybody out there, and you don't have to amount to somebody. You don't have to prove yourself to somebody, but you do have to make risks. You do have to take risks in your life if you want to live. That's what living is taking the appropriate risks and living, and knowing what not knowing the outcome, but predicting the outcome is going to be a pretty good one. That's where life begins, right there. Is to do different things, not just stay at home and watch Dancing with the Stars all day. And, you know what I'm saying? You gotta freaking get out there and try different things. You have to.
And you did, and you changed, and you pivoted. What would you be doing now if you were still classifieds, man? I'm not doing that new Craigslist thing. Classifieds. That's where I would sell my stuff forever.
I don't know what I would have been doing, man. I probably would have designed something, honestly. Maybe some piece of clothing or maybe a bike thing. I love bikes, but I don't know what I would have been doing. That's a good question, man. I don't know. But I know I would.
You did brand yourself with bikes, right?
Yeah.
You became this bike guy. It was 2 weeks ago where I'm sending you pictures from a Savers up here because this must have been one guy because there were 6 vintage bikes at this one store. And I knew they were vintage. I didn't know nothing about bikes, so I'm on the eBay app trying to look them up. I'm sending you pictures, right? Like what do you think of this? What do you think of this? Just because I knew you knew bikes. And I use that as an example to carry over from the mastermind group of getting 3, 4, or 5 people you can work together with. So if I don't know something, I'm like, oh, I know a guy that knows bikes. I can get an instant answer, or I can spend 45 minutes there trying to learn about condition and the difference between a 1-speed and a 3-speed, and does it matter if it's made in England or USA, like all this stuff. I can get an answer quick, right?
Right. Yeah.
You know,
A lot
so
of
I
people
get my
do,
answer,
actually.
and yeah. And if you needed something and you hit me up, guess what? You're going to get your answer quick, and it just helps. Because nobody can learn everything, but if you have a group where someone knows this line and someone's really good at this and someone's really good here, then you all get better at it. A mastermind. I gave a lot of people coaching advice lately, and forming a mastermind for fourth quarter kind of really came out at the top as like you have to do this. If you have a mastermind group, that's going to be your number one thing in the fourth quarter to help you make money, because you can't be everywhere. You can't go to every store every hour. But if someone else does, and they give you the scoop, and you can hustle over to that store and pick up $800 in profit in 45 minutes, all of a sudden, now you're really cooking. Now you're making some real money.
Yeah, you should never worry. Like, even if you're in these mastermind groups, whether it's, it can be, Global Voodoo's Pick for Profit, it can be any of these other ones, or Scan Power, or even my group, right? What he's saying is you got to be in some sort of group where people are sharing information, and they're sharing information willingly, to the point where, in the green room this past week, we had so much stuff going around, and I was like, dang, man, I'm going to go to my Target and check out for that kind of stuff, and I didn't find any of it, and that's okay. But then when I finally find some stuff that was never in the green room, I put it up there, and some people are like, oh, cool, I'm going to go to the Target and go check that out, right? Because I'm like hoping that people find the same exact item. And I know that the market will dilute a little bit, and I'm okay with that. That's part of the game. If that wasn't part of the game, I would never play FBA. Dilution is part of the game. It's going to happen, and that just shows you where your risk is going to fall within the parameters, right? A scared person will get up probably quick. A person that's patient and has played it the fourth quarter, I played it last year, is going to hang around a little bit and see the prices do what you said, Chris, go back up and wait it out, you know what I'm saying? But I think what's going to be interesting, you said FBA has been around for 8 years, and I promise you we're going to go to merch for 10 minutes after this. This will be our last thing. But you said FBA has been around for 8 years, right? And I don't recall FBA, even in the YouTube space, FBA videos being produced in the past, 3 years, really. So for me, I'm going like, man, I'm kind of late on this ballgame, but were you doing all this arbitrage stuff 8 years ago, Chris, or 7 years ago, or has it really picked up 3 years ago or 2 years ago?
It's definitely picked up a lot in the last 2 to 3 years. I wrote my first book in 2011. Here we are, on the end of 2015, and I remember writing that book saying, oh, this is over. Everybody's going to write books, and here we are. Hardly anybody's written books, because writing books is actually harder than people think. It's not hard, but it does take commitment to finishing a project. Let's call it that. But I was making YouTube videos, but it was very niche, right? Like because it was kind of a big jump, right? You got eBay sellers. eBay was really big. We're talking 8 years ago now. Amazon's third-party marketplace was just kind of maturing to a level where everybody it made a lot of sense. They didn't have the silly auctions anymore and the Z-Shop stuff, and it made sense. And it's really kind of similar to what it is today. There's more regulations and all that. But you had to make the jump from just selling on Amazon to sending your inventory to Amazon. And this is just one of those moments where I was in the right place at the right time, and I was just committed to it because I was a Prime buyer from the very first month that Prime came out. I actually looked back when they did the 10-year anniversary. They gave you a link to see how long you've been a Prime member. And I was 2005, February, the first month Prime came out, I signed up for Prime. And I didn't even know that, but I look back, it's kind of cool because I want the 2-day shipping. I wanted that I wanted that 10 years ago, because once you go 10-day shipping with Prime, people are like, I'm never going back. I'm not waiting for slow shipping. I almost won't even order something if I can't get it Prime.
Yeah,
I'm just
you're right.
not,
I'm the same
just
way.
not interested. So when I see FBA, meaning my products are going to be eligible for Prime, I'm thinking, no way, because I'm selling power tools. I got like 78 batteries. Like I don't have like a huge quantity. I'm like they're not going to use it for me, little old seller me. And they're like, oh, yeah, you can send that stuff in. I'm like, really? So I send everything in, and I'm like, not doing anything. And then I get into books and media just basically because I have all this time on my hands, so I start scanning at thrift stores and book sales. And I send all that stuff to FBA, and I'm like, this is crazy, and I need a software solution. So I I posted on Elance. I met Paul, the co-founder of Scam Power Today. We did 5-year anniversary this summer, and we kind of betaed it for 2 years before that, and I was selling the year before that. So it's been 8 years. But it's a big jump to give your inventory to Amazon and pay money, right? Now you're paying shipping to send it in, and you're not really sure what's going to happen to it. I don't know what the tipping point was where people finally said, yeah, oh, this is so easy. I just put a label on it and send it to Amazon. I'm like, yes, I've been telling you guys that for years now.
It's information, man. Information got out there, and people said, like, it works. And all it takes is a couple people to say, like, this is the gold rush, or this is the start of something big. Now go there. And I think YouTube videos 2 or 3 years ago popped up. They really started advertising a lot about Prime 2 to 3 years ago. A lot. The advertising has gone like to TV. It's everywhere you go now. So
the more Prime customers, the more attractive FBA is to sellers. Whether they see that or not, that's really a big driving force.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to this merch thing. But before we go to the merch thing, I'm going to tell you right now, I am buying your book right after this show. I'm not even kidding. I'm not doing it because you're on my show. I'm going to go and buy your book because I have a feeling this book's going to teach me what I need to know about starting a business kind of with merch on Amazon. Correct? Am I right about that kind of?
Oh, it'll teach you everything. And the whole process of merch isn't even that complicated, right? So the book, and someone gave me this great feedback today, it really made me feel good, putting the content out there and getting the feedback. Was that they were right. They're like, guys, merch is not complicated. It's like 4 screens. You upload a picture and put in some details, and you're done. But what are you going to upload, right? So I have all these videos about getting ideas from pop culture, from politics, from sports, from memes, from all these things that you can make T-shirts for. How to search on Amazon to see if they're represented at all. How to search Amazon to see if a search suggestion comes up, to see if people are searching for something that's maybe not even there yet, or maybe there's no Prime eligible offer, right? Or look at Google to see how popular a keyword phrase is that's not represented on Amazon. Because if other people are searching for it, then eventually you're going to have someone who searches for it and wants to put it on a T-shirt, right? It's just probability and numbers. So those are the shirts you need to make. I've seen people make some pretty crappy shirts, and I'm like, I'm really struggling with how to tell people their shirts aren't good, because I don't want to be mean, but I want to give real advice to be like, I'm glad you got your shirt up, your first one, but I really don't think anybody's going to buy it because, and give that loving criticism, right, without sounding like a real jerk. I don't know how to do that because it's Facebook. If I type it out, no matter what I type, it's going to sound like I'm being mean. But once you have a few ideas, you start to kind of see how big this opportunity can get, because we touched on at the beginning, there's no inventory, there's no cost, there's no manufacturing, there's no distribution, fulfillment, returns. Like, Amazon does all that for you. You're able to create an ASIN on Amazon that when it sells, you get a royalty. That's crazy talk. You get a royalty when a product sells, and you can put anything up there you want. And if it comes up on Amazon search because you got ahead of the curve on pop culture, and someone searches for it, you are the only offer, because you're the first one to say, "Oh, Deflategate. Oh, that's going to be a big thing. I'm pretty sure they're going to give the Patriots a hard time about this Deflategate thing." And during that Colts game, you get a hashtag Deflategate shirt up on Amazon, and it's live before the game is over.
That's cool.
I mean, the bad news about this is now I probably have to sit there and watch the stupid VMA awards and the Country Music Awards and the Emmys, just in case some kind of like pop culture thing happens that, oh, that would make a great shirt and it's totally not trademarkable, and get it up there. Because no, I don't watch the VMAs or the political debates or I don't want to watch that stuff. Actually, I'll watch the recap, right? Show me the 6 most memorable lines from the GOP political debate, and I'll see if any of those are shirt worthy, and that's all I need to know.
You strike me as the kind of guy who would like the Keeping with the Kardashians show. What do you think of that show?
There's probably a lot of shirts that you can make with that.
I'm just kidding, man. Okay, so a request, and someone beat me to it. Can you hold up your book for about 5 seconds on the screen? I want to write it down so I can put the link in the green room and all that stuff, so we can all support your book and everything like that. But I want to buy it because this could be I'm all about trying new things. Merch life. Okay, cool. Thank you. And please give me the link after the show on our Facebook chat so I can start blasting it in my group too.
You got it. You get
But that
the
looks pretty cool, man. Go ahead.
well, you get the Kindle book for free when you buy the physical book. If you're a Prime member or a Kindle Unlimited member, you can borrow or read it absolutely free. It's got a link to our free Facebook group, which in about 2 weeks is up to over 1,500 members. Very active group. It's such a new platform that things are changing almost daily. And it's really the early adopters, the first movers, who can really stand to make a lot of money with this stuff. And I don't want anybody. I already met people who said, "Oh, but I mean, has it already been like kind of overrun?" I'm like, it's 30 days old. FBA is 8 years old, right? Almost 100 months versus 1 month, which is 1% of the time that FBA has been out. It is as ground floor as it gets. Everybody wants to say, "Oh, ground floor. Oh, I'm sure," because it sounds like MLM speak. Like, "Oh, you're going to get in on the ground floor on this." Like, yeah, whatever. This is ground floor, and if you don't believe me, just come here next year, and we'll talk about what happened with merch in the last year. But merch is, I didn't see it. CreateSpace already does it. CreateSpace lets us create royalty-generating ASINs on Amazon, right? When you break it down, I didn't see it that way as a content creator until merch came along, and it was, I can now create T-shirts, and wait a minute, in a few months maybe I can make hoodies and visors and coffee cups, and maybe they'll even make those mouse pad things if anybody still uses a mouse. Like
all with the same graphic, right? That you uploaded up, like, right?
One graphic right now does men's, women's, and children's T-shirts. They just scale it down. I mean, I sold T-shirts back in the day, back in my eBay days. I had one design in 3 colors and 5 sizes, so I had no women's and no children's, right? I had small, medium, large, extra large, and 2XL. And that's 15 different models, right? 15 different SKUs for one T-shirt, and that's just men's sizes. Now I can offer 5 different colors, men's, women's, and youth sizes, all print on demand. And it's more about just search Merch Life or Merch by Amazon on Amazon, guys. You'll find it. It's learning the platform. I'm not going to sit here and say you're going to make a ton of money selling shirts, unless you're good at making designs and good at coming up with ideas. But guys, you can go to any of these graphic T-shirt sites and see what's popular. You can find all the seasonal, what's the one? St. Patrick's Day shirts that sell well on some of these sites, and say, "Oh, that's a great shirt. I'm going to make one with a couple shamrocks," and use it for inspiration. Don't copy. Get some inspiration, though. But if you understand the platform, you see all the people making money teaching FBA, right? There is a ton of money to be made in teaching merch, and it's not just to the peeps on the internet. It's to the local businesses. It's to the schools. It's to the people who are doing fundraisers right now that are ridiculously complicated. Like, let's do a garage sale fundraiser, and we'll collect all this stuff from people's houses, and we'll store it in this crappy barn that we have until the day, and then we'll bring it out. And the amount of work that you would put in to a garage sale fundraiser between a bunch of people, you're probably going to earn yourselves about $1.50 an hour, right? I mean, it's a fundraiser, or you can put your organization's logo. How about the cheerleading squad's logo on a shirt? And then you tell everybody on the cheerleading squad to go door to door, talk to their family and friends, give them a card that has the link to their Amazon shirt, saying, "Hey, this is our fundraiser this year. Please buy a shirt. We get $5 every single shirt that we sell, and you can order any color and any size that you want. Thanks so much. Sorry to bother you." They're going to buy that shirt. And now they get $5, and you can teach them to run their own fundraiser. You can set up the fundraiser for them and issue them a disbursement, and maybe you keep a portion of it. Maybe you don't on a fundraiser, but maybe you keep a processing fee for that restaurant who wants to be able to offer T-shirts to their customers without having a closet full of shirts. They say, "Okay, here's your bill, sir," and on the outside it has a sticker with a link to their Amazon page, and underneath it says, "Wear your shirt and get half-price apps Monday through Friday." And they're going to not only get people wearing their shirt and their brand around town, but you can kick them back $5 for every shirt that they sell. And at a $20 price point, you're going to keep $4 for yourself just for setting it up for them. And I'll give you an anecdotal story that I learned at a conference. And this story wasn't even about the point that I took away from it. It was about going to a store and setting them up on a website and saying, "Hey, your website sucks. I'm really good at websites. I'll make you a new website. This was a jewelry shop. The owner came out. He was super pissed. He was like, I have hired 12 different people to make me a website, and it still sucks. Why should I give it to you? And the story was, oh, they worked it out, and like they got the account, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that part of the story. The story that stuck in my head was that business owner, that jewelry maker wanted to make and sell jewelry so much that they hired out the making of their website 13 different times. So don't think that if you go in and say, hey, there's this new shirt program on Amazon I want to tell you about, they're going to be like, oh, I'm just going to do it myself and cut you out. They want to make pizza, right? They want to sell bikes. And if they can have one shirt on the wall with an Amazon link under it, and they can point at it and say, hey, buy that shirt, knowing in the back of their mind they're going to get $5, that's simple. That's easy. They can do that, and you can get paid for helping them do that, either on a royalty basis or a one-time setup fee for them. I don't care what it is. We got a guy in our group, that's all he does every day. He reports back about how many accounts he set up that day. And he's getting $400 a pop, right? Because it's knowledge. But don't discount yourself. Guys, if you read this book or just go to the merch website, merch.amazon.com, learn it, understand the power of it, then you got to have the confidence that, yes, I now know something that pretty much almost everybody doesn't know, and that knowledge is power, and that knowledge is valuable. And if you can bring value to someone else, whether it's a person or a company or a group, they will pay you for that, right? Because people who want to do a fundraiser, they want to know that if I do X, I'm going to get cash, right? I do X, I get cash. I run a garage sale, I get cash. I sell cookies, I get cash. They just want the cash. They are not interested in setting up a closet full of T-shirts. They want to know if I go door to door and hand out this flyer with an Amazon link, I'll get cash? Yeah, I can do that. I can do that. And that's what kids want to do. And then they want to go back to playing soccer and baseball, right? These kids are not going to start an Amazon empire to compete with your shirt business, right? So, I don't know. I am so excited about the platform because it does open up such a no barrier to entry. FBA's got a barrier to entry. I've talked to people who have trouble committing to the $13 cost on that UPS inbound box, right? They can't get over that. Like, they're spending money to start their FBA business without guarantees.
You can
Merch
write
is zero.
You can write that stuff off.
Well, yeah, but they're not thinking that far ahead yet. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we're rounding out the last part of our show. So yes, verbal. You heard it here. I'm buying this book for sure because I got to see what it's all about. And I see that anything that Amazon starts doing. I mean, same thing with Google and YouTube. Like I even got on YouTube Red the other day because honestly, I do enough YouTube.
I like
it's
that.
important. It's important. Trust me. The amount of time I save not looking at ads and this and that, and I can play playlist and make playlists with my phone off and streaming. It's amazing. It's freaking amazing. So I'm never going back. And I want to try anything that Amazon really has to offer as well because I believe in Amazon. I really do. I think it's a powerhouse that's same up there with eBay. And if eBay does something new, I'll probably be part of that as well. But I like these companies. I partner with them. They've made me money over the years. And if Amazon's going to be pushing any kind of stuff behind this merch, I mean, you got to think about it. If they're going to start advertising this merch thing 2 years down the road like they did with Prime, they waited like 5 years down the road with Prime before they went crazy with Prime on advertising. So think about it. If you can get in early on something like this, this could be the next big thing. You just never know, but it's important to try and check it out. And like he said, all you need really is a computer, some YouTube videos on how to do some things, and just understand keyword research, basically. But I think the book's really going to help us out. I have a feeling it's going to. Anything that you put out is pretty much quality, so I'm buying it directly after this show. Okay, if you're in the Green Room, which is a paid Facebook group that we run with Rake and Profit, Retro Aficionado, College Picker, and me, the Bonafide Hustler, then if you want to join that room, check out the link below on this video. It's a Gumroad link. It'll tell you how much it is a year and everything like that. But I'm going to be posting the link to Chris Green's book, Merch Life, into the Green Room today, actually here in about 10 minutes, and I'm probably gonna I greenlight this book. I'm telling you right now. I know it's gonna be good. I'm greenlighting this book, and I'll greenlight very many books, honestly. But this one I have a feeling it's gonna be a good one. I've been really intrigued by it, by the way, because I follow you in the Scan Power thing, and you've been talking a lot about it, and it's like finally I get the person right here, live in the flesh, to teach us a little bit about what's going on. And quite honestly, you said it's changing every day, which is a good sign, right? something that changes every day is freaking got some steam behind it, right?
Oh, Amazon's committed to merch. It's huge. I mean, they're being fulfilled by Woot.com, which Amazon bought a couple years ago. I mean, so they've set the system up, print-on-demand garments, because, Teespring was making margin, right? And Amazon will go after anybody making margin and try to make it bigger and better and faster and with the end user, the customer in mind. It's absolutely a gift that any of us, third-party sellers, can hop on and sell to these Amazon customers. It's so good that we take it for granted, right? Because, we all can do it, right? So who cares? Yeah, we could do it. So let's get excited about it and figure out the platforms. And I don't try to get fake excited about programs, but I mean, merch is one that I'm just all in on. Time will tell if I'm right. I mean, I was right about FBA 8 years ago. I could have been wrong, right? But back then, I remember the feeling like, oh yes, this. I had to convince my business partner Paul to do this. He was like, I don't think FBA is gonna get that big. I was like, no, it really is. Trust me. And I happened to be right. I could have been wrong. I could be wrong about merch. Amazon could pull the plug on it. They could. I don't see them doing that. But it's like you said, you like to try new things. Guys, you have to try new things. It's never been easier to try new things. It's never been faster to try new things. It's never been cheaper to try new things. So you owe it to yourself to try new things, because what? If something doesn't work, it doesn't work. Who cares, right? And if you're hanging out with anybody who gives you any kind of flack or gives you any kind of criticism for trying new things, hang out with other people. Really, do it. I know it's gonna be hard to peel that Band-Aid off and stop hanging out with those people, but if they are not supporting you, and know the difference between criticism and negativity, because someone might say, hey, your shirt really is bad because it's bad, not because they're trying to put you down. So do know the difference.
Okay. I just realized that I've spent majority of this. You and I have spent a majority of time talking on this show, and College Picker with the corkboard background, intricate corkboard background, has been sitting there either soaking it up like a sponge or waiting patiently.
I just hate to interrupt him. He's the guest. I'm not going to interrupt him. But there was a really good question in the comments that I have been waiting to add.
Okay, go ahead. Let's do this, man.
With the rules and regulations to Amazon, this was from one of the viewers. I forget the name. It's not letting me scroll up. I think the last name was Moss. But what is the boundaries for, you mentioned trademark, are there boundaries for copyrights and trademark things, and if so, what could you give to us to let us know not to get sued?
It's a tough one, especially because I'm not a lawyer, right? So everything I say it's not that it's hearsay, but it's certainly not legal advice. And it's a little dicey because Amazon, they do have their content policy where they're going to have the general sentences that say you agree to do your due diligence and not upload anything that could be considered offensive or trademarked or copyrighted. And I've already seen Coca-Cola shirts, and I've already seen John Lennon lyrics shirts, stuff that is, and I don't know, maybe they have a license, right? I really doubt it. If you've got a license, you're probably really making shirts in volume, especially if you have a Coke license. You're not already on merch, but maybe they are. But they are shipped and sold by Amazon, right? So Amazon is selling these logoed products. So I don't know if from a legal standpoint where it comes down, where they're going to say, well, Amazon, you're the one who sold and printed and shipped that product. I'm sure Amazon's got some way to offload that onto the account, whoever's uploaded it. But right now, I don't think there's any kind of approval process, other than there's probably some stuff for some not like pornography stuff, but really stuff that should not be on the site. But some person may not know what the Coke logo just goes through, and clearly these have gone through. But as far as using images, people need to do their own homework, do a little due diligence. If they're downloading clip art off of Google Images, or if they're using stock photo sites, that they're getting the proper license. I probably have some up that I don't have the proper licensing for, and I don't know what could even potentially happen. So everybody does have to do their own due diligence. I don't want people to go crazy because this is not a criminal offense, right? Like if you accidentally use a clip art photo, you don't go to jail, right? So I don't want people to invest in I got a lawyer on $10,000 retainer just so I don't upload a Taylor Swift lyric, right? there's a balance in between there where I can't tell everybody where that balance is for each individual person, but you do have to read the terms of service of any kind of photo service that you're downloading from.
And a lot of
Or
times
be original.
you would get a cease and desist at, like, that's usually the first step of anything, right? Usually, like, you need to stop, making this. This is a trade, blah 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 blah. That's usually a cease and desist. You pull the product, you're all good. A lot of times and things like that, I've seen that happen first.
I did make a video. I think it's in the intro course, which you do get the intro course on Udemy. There's a code in the book. If everybody gets the book, will get that course. It's a digital version. But I put in one about the United States Trademark and Patent Office, where you can do some pretty generic searches, including word searches, because one member of our group he made a Just Roll jiu-jitsu shirt, which I'm not into jiu-jitsu, but apparently Just Roll is a term they use a lot. So he made this shirt, and he got a cease and desist pretty quick. Actually, I'm not sure how they got his contact info, anyway, I could ask him that. But he said, hey, I got a trademark on that, and he wasn't sure if the guy was like for real or if he was kind of messing with him. But if you go in and look up the words Just Roll, there's an active, or they call it a live versus dead trademark on Just Roll for T-shirts related to jiu-jitsu.
That's crazy.
Owned by the same guy who owns the website where the thing came from. So, I mean, it just checked out. We're not trying to, like, call BS on anybody. It checked out. So the guy took it down. And actually, I don't know if he could take it down because the platform's so new. So I think he wrote back and said, hey, I'm sorry, this and that, because it's a cease and desist, right? Like, the other side is also going to be like, oh, you owe me $10 million. Like, no, you don't, right? Like, it's not a $10 million infringement, right? Like, you're not getting anything out of it. So, I mean, just pay attention to stuff like that. If you're really concerned, do the patent trademark, lookup, see if there's anything there. It's free. It's online. You can do it. I'm actually trying to find a lawyer to kind of bounce a bunch of these ideas off of so that I can pass along the information about things like this with a little bit of authority to be like, this is what I got from my Massachusetts lawyer. I hope it helps you guys. Please confirm in your own state. Because, these shows, we're not legal experts, right? We're not tax experts. We're not even Amazon or eBay experts, right? If we say an eBay policy and eBay says, no, they're wrong, guess what? We're wrong, right? Like, it doesn't matter what any of us say on these shows. You can't go to merch and say Chris Green said. They don't know me, guys. They don't, right? Well, actually, they do, but they don't.
But they do. All right. Well, I think that pretty much concludes our show. In the green room, Resale Rabbit, a.k.a. John Dugan, has put up the link to Chris Green's new book. So I'm going to pull it right off that link, and that's where I'm going to buy it from. But, hey, Chris, thanks for joining our show today. I really appreciate it. We've gone 23 minutes over. I'm sorry. I really tried to get it into an hour, but I knew this merch thing was going to be a big deal, and I wanted to talk to you about it. So thanks for giving us the bird's eye on the merch thing. We really appreciate it. So I guess we'll see you in a year, right?
We can do a year. We can do before that. But I want to see a Green Room T-shirt before the end of the week.
It's coming, man. It's gonna come. Trust me. Trust me.
So who in the green room is your Photoshop expert? Someone must be better.
Oh,
than
we got
us.
one. Yeah, we got a graphics expert in there. I was just thinking about making it in Word. I'm just kidding. Yeah, we're gonna put it in Photoshop.
The green room.
36 font or 72 font, guys? What do you guys think?
Green text on a black shirt.
Yeah. We're going to make something cool. We'll make something snazzy for the green room peeps. But we got to tell you, thanks for the inspiration. And I will apologize right now because we did half Scan Party and we did half merch. But this half merch was really interesting stuff. So that's what we uncover sometimes in the green room shows, is something a little bit more interesting than the original subject topic at hand. So thanks for tuning in to our broadcast. We'll see you on next week's Green Room Hangout, number 18. And till then, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you in a week.
See you guys.